Hello again everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the channel. Today we are having a little look at and comparing the new MKStudios Dusseldorf Airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So very warm welcome back. Hit like, hit subscribe, share your thoughts as always down in the comments section below. Back in April, just for context, Aerosoft brought out their latest mega airport, Dusseldorf, and we actually had a little look at the time flying the new CRJ version 2 into Milan, I think, if I remember correctly. This now is a brand new MKStudios Dusseldorf, and I've reminded myself of what the Aerosoft version was like. We're going to spend a few minutes now kind of exploring all of the features of this airport scenery, and I'll draw some of my conclusions and give you guys my opinion. As always, if you want this scenery, the link, as you know by now, is down in the description below, and it's available via Contrail and others. Now, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 has an ongoing LOD problem for sceneries and aeroplanes, and a lot of developers are kind of working away at solving some of those. But as you can see here, the ground textures at the MKStudios scenery is really very nice indeed. Much like Aerosoft's mega airport, Dusseldorf, this has animated ground vehicles all moving around the airport environment. The detail on the car park areas, and actually other areas too, like the fuel farm, are in my opinion on this scenery a little bit better, a little bit crisper. The textures and the modelling seem a bit nicer. Like Aerosoft, they've put some attention into the landside areas, and if you are interested as well, check out the link that, if I remembered correctly, is above, and you'll get a link to the live stream at Dusseldorf when we flew from there back in April. For the Aerosoft version, you'll be able to compare those sceneries, and actually even this building here has a lot more detail on this one than the Aerosoft version. I really like the train station. We've got high-speed trains bypassing, and some that then stop and then zip off into the distance. Looking over the maintenance area of the airfield, it's ordinarily part of an airport we might not necessarily pay much attention to, but actually the modelling and the textures here are much better than the Aerosoft version, including the apron textures down below, which in this scenery are weathered and worn, unlike the Aerosoft version, which appear really quite clean and renewed by contrast. Amazingly realistic, actually, that kind of filthy, worn concrete look. So that's one of the big differences, because the apron area on the Aerosoft version looked very clean and really quite new. Same with the buildings, actually. Now when I think about it, the buildings in this MKStudios version look a little bit more realistic and a bit more worn out than the Aerosoft version, which from memory looked quite clean by comparison. Now, nighttime textures, as more of an overall look, are very, very good indeed. Now, nighttime textures overall are superb. If I make it even darker, so you can see the direct difference between that kind of dusk dawn look and full nighttime. The apron areas are beautifully lit, and actually the surroundings of the airport for this are really well completed as well. And small details like the emissives, the light effects coming off the big light bars and the poles are very nicely done. Quite realistic looking. I'm sure you guys would likely agree with that. Taxiway lighting is just as beautiful, as you can see here. And if we take a look at the runway, we've got amazing brightness to the runway lighting, with the drone camera at the minute set to kind of like an auto focus mode. Up close against the building, you can see the lighting effects inside, and the glass, actually the textures going inside from the outside looking in, are really nicely done as well. And you can see the rust that's on the building. Now that is there on the Aerosoft version of it, but not to this level of effect, I don't think. And the interior looks pretty cool too, with very worn out roofing tiles by the looks of it. And those of you who have used Dusseldorf, you'll be able to tell us whether or not that is realistic or not in the comments. And I think the interior has a slight win on this scenery in comparison to the Aerosoft scenery, because I think there is a little bit more detail involved in this landside section. We've got some animated signs for the advert boards that are refreshing, and nice little details like the airport maps as well, which you can actually read and decipher somewhat. Much like the Aerosoft scenery, they've got a nice little monorail installed, working its way to and from different areas of the airport. It's a good way of exploring the scenery because it does show you how much detail is involved if you follow the rail system. And I think all round this scenery in itself is more impressive. Certainly when you look at this view here, in comparison to the Aerosoft version, that does look a bit more basic. This looks a heck of a lot more detailed from up high. And even if we go to a darker time of day, we get beautiful emissives and really good lighting effects all across the whole airport. I think that this one is quite far ahead in comparison to the Aerosoft version. And at night time, that's when the ATC tower really comes into its own, because the glass textures in here are stunning. And you get a really good appreciation for the scale of the airport from up high as well. They've included things like the Sheraton Hotel, animated flags on the top of that building as well, just for added effect. And we can zoom across towards the forecourt to have a little look at some of the details involved here. And they've got a really impressive structure to the airport. Performance seems really very good, but it's also very good on the Dusseldorf from Aerosoft as well, for what it's worth. So I don't think there's very much in it performance-wise across those two airport sceneries. But they've also added some key features running out beyond the airport, including the arena off in the distance. Little visual references that you can pick out on final approach, for example, which just give you that added immersion included within the scenery package. We've also got the airport solar farm and the fire training ground, along with water treatment facility included. And off in the distance over there, you've got the big bridge crossing the river as another visual reference point for the approaches and the departures from Dusseldorf, which is a nice little touch. All in all, I think the MKStudios scenery does beat the Aerosoft Dusseldorf version. The Dusseldorf from Aerosoft is £14.38 excluding VAT, and the MKStudios Dusseldorf, which is this one, is £15.43 excluding VAT, so just a little bit more expensive for the MKStudios version, but you do seem to get a lot more detail included for your money. And some of the differences are small, but significant. Things like the airport fire station, for example. In the MKStudios scenery, it's custom vehicles. In the Aerosoft version, they're a bit more kind of blank, generic looking Rosenbauer kit trucks. And there are some big differences with key features, like the tower here at MKStudios Dusseldorf is beautifully modelled and wonderfully textured, whereas the Aerosoft version just seems a little bit blank in comparison and just a little bit neglected. The MKStudios have really nailed this scenery, as is usually the case. If I was to recommend one out of the two, though I like both, this is the one I would recommend buying, the MKStudios Dusseldorf, and the link is down in the description below. It's a wonderful part of Germany to fly to and from, lots of different regional real-world operations that you can do, and I'm sure lots of virtual airline schedules across the board. I hope you found the video informative and useful. Hit like, hit subscribe, go check out the start of the live stream, I did link it earlier, from the other week, which helps you decipher the differences between the two, and you'll see that this does win quite well, quite confidently in comparison. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.